Good day, I'm Ramesh Mariappan, your iLecture tutor for the subject CBCT 2203 Basic Concepts of Information Technology. In this session, we are going to learn about communication, which is an important component in the development of information technology. Let us look at what we are going to accomplish by the end of this session. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain about the basics of communication and the related elements, and describe about data communication and types of signals available. Dear learners, communication is simply the transfer or exchange of messages, ideas, thoughts, information, or knowledge by means of whatever forms like words, writing, behavior, or even body language. And then you have data communication, which is a more specialized term targeting at the collection and distribution of electronic data in the form of text, voice, pictures, graphics, and video via the communication network. There are four important elements that need to be known before any type of communication can happen. If either one of the elements were missing in the process, the communication cannot take place. These elements are the message, sender, receiver, and media. Now we shall study each of these basic elements closely. First, the sender. The sender is the message transmitter or the place where a message begins. The sender may be a person, an application, a machine that can create messages or replies without human assistance, system user, sensor, staff card reader, or other input devices. Second, the message. A message can be in the form of files, requests, replies, status, controls, or mail. When we ask someone, the message of asking may be in the form of voice, letter of ordering, eye movement, or body movement. There are long messages like letters, and there are short messages like an order to read. Third, the receiver. The receiver is the target of the message. The receiver may be a computer, terminal, printer, people, remote control device, and others. Fourth, the media. A message is carried from the sender to receiver via the communication media. The media is the channel or vehicle for carrying the message. Let's look at a situation which shows the relations of all these elements. When we access a website, for example, we type the address of the website www.oum.edu.my. The website address is a message that we send to the website concerned, or we ask the computer software to search for the website concerned. Thus, we are the sender, the computer is the receiver, the website address is the message, and the internet is the media. Hope you are clear about the communication elements. Now, I had mentioned about data communication in the earlier part of this session. One of the features of data communication is the types of signal. Two forms of signals that can represent information for transmission via the communication lines are analog signals and digital signals. First, let's look at analog signals. Analog signals are continuous. For example, when signals are sent via the media, such as telephone wires, the electrical signals that are transmitted are represented in the form of continuous sine wave. Now, the sine wave is featured by three parameters, which are frequency, amplitude, and phases. The first parameter, the frequency. Frequency is the number of recurring waves. It is measured in hertz by 1 cycle per second. For example, signals with 40 hertz recur 40 cycles per second. The second parameter, the amplitude. Amplitude is the height of the wave or the wave's highest energy level. Amplitude is measured in various units such as voltage V, or decibel dB. The stronger the signal, the higher is the amplitude of the signal. The last parameter, the phase. Phase is the rate of signal change with time, or the measure of time shift of the waves that is measured in degrees. Signals with the same frequency can have different phases if they are compared. One complete wave cycle begins at a point and continues until it reaches the point again. We already covered the first form of signals in data communication, which is the analog signals. Now, let's look at the second type of signals, which is the digital signals. Digital signal is like a discrete wave when compared with the analog signal, which is like a continuous sine wave, as I had mentioned before. In the digital transmission, a series of discrete pulses are transmitted or sent by carrying digit 0 and 1. These 0 and 1 values are similar to the binary data representation in the computer, which you had learned in topic 2. Normally, digital signals are represented as rectangular waves, as shown on the slides. Digital signals cannot be transmitted via PSTN except after changing to the analog signals. For your information, PSTN, or Public Switch Telephone Network, is the network we use for telephone connection. So, the process of changing digital signals into analog one is called modulating, while the reverse process is called demodulating. That's all about data communication signals. Dear learners, in this session we have covered about the basics of communication and the elements involved in it, and also learned about data communication and the type of signals available. That's all for now. Till then, thank you and all the best.